The adverse effects of climate change are already being experienced in Guyana. Since the 1960s, the country has observed increases in temperature, sea level, more intense rainfall, and dry weather. More recently, Guyana suffered from an unprecedented nationwide flooding. This climate event affected over 20,000 farmers and 60% of our GDP. Building systems that protect against climate change and biodiversity loss is key to Guyana's prosperity, and the Low Carbon Development Strategy, LCDS 2030, does exactly this. Specifically, the LCDS will address environmental damage and loss through climate adaptation and resilience. This means building climate-resilient agriculture systems, developing climate risk assessment and insurance, enhancing sea defense, expanding mangrove restoration, strengthening drainage and irrigation systems, and supporting public health adaptation to climate change. Be part of LCDS 2030 and share in the vision of a global model for environmental integrity, one that assures thriving economic and social development, all within a low-carbon pathway.
This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 8th day of July in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The government of Guyana today inked an agreement with world-renowned healthcare provider Mount Sinai and Hess Corporation to transform Guyana's public health landscape. The initiative will be led by the Mount Sinai healthcare system. As part of the plan, 2 centers will be established in Guyana to provide cardiovascular and oncology care for both local and Caribbean patients. According to President Finale, the agreement signals Guyana's intention to build a modern, world-class healthcare system.
There will be an entire systems overhaul, both at the public and private level. Because the private level, although you have your own private business, to be part of this national system, we all have to have minimum standards through which we are operating. And for the private sector who we want to help to provide the specialized services, there are some maximum standards that you will have to apply.
The president promised that there will be changes to healthcare regulations, which is the first step to overhauling the system. He said Guyana must lead the way in providing world-class service as it banks on Mount Sinai's reputation of providing medical discoveries, research, and innovations.
We are not doing this unless we're doing it right and we're doing it holistically. But they were pushing at open doors because that is the only way we want to do it. We want to do it right and we want to do it holistically. So for Mount Sinai, they're putting their reputation on the line. That is to tell you the seriousness we are approaching this with. A healthcare system that is powered by Mount Sinai is not an easy issue decision for them. They had to be convinced that we are serious about this because they are putting their reputation on the line, and we're not going to disappoint them.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said the modernization of Guyana's healthcare system has been a long time coming. He said where there have been gradual steps over the years, the new partnership will help Guyana's healthcare to take the giant leap.
When we were thinking about how to modernize the healthcare sector, His Excellency insisted that in transforming the health sector, we must learn from the best. We must adopt the same level of clinical excellence that they have in Mount Sinai. We must also have the same quality of patient relation services, and we must ensure that these services are accessible and affordable.
As part of the wider plan, it is hoped that the agreement will see several systems being created. One is a baseline system that will target persons when they are in secondary school to do a general medical checkup, put their information in the system, and track their medical condition for the rest of their lives. Over 40 clinical specialists from Mount Sinai are expected in Guyana next week to begin exchange training with the Georgetown Hospital. The Hess Company, which is part of the co-ventures in the Stabroek oil block, will fund most of the project. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Need to apply for a taxpayer identification number or TIN from the GRA? Here is what you'll need: ID, passport or affidavit of identity, and proof of address. This can be a utility or internet bill, renter's receipt, or a mail bearing GPO's official stamp. Provide the original and copy of these along with the completed application form. It costs $1,000 for a new TIN and $2,000 to reprint a lost or damaged TIN. GRA, your partner in development.
Guyana is receiving more profits from oil production than ExxonMobil and its partners in the Stabroek block. So far, the country has received over $700 million in profit oil and royalty. The royalty is paid by Exxon and its partners and is not recoverable.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or
The final member of the Public Procurement Commission, Attorney Pauline Chase, took her oath of office today. With Chase's swearing in, the full commission is now in place and is expected to get down to work soon. Chase is expected to be named the chairperson of the Public Procurement Commission. She is the current president of the Bar Association of Guyana. Last week, President Irfan Ali administered the oath of office to the other members of the Public Procurement Commission: Joel Bangwandin, Raj Narayan Singh, Diana Rajkumar, and Berkeley Wickham. The opposition has 2 nominees on the 5-member commission. The Public Procurement Commission is responsible for monitoring the public procurement system and the process, which also includes accepting complaints from aggrieved contractors and bidders for government projects. The life of the last Public Procurement Commission expired almost 2 years ago, and the government was coming under heavy criticism for its sloth in appointing the new commission. Let's tell you now that the CARICOM Secretariat and CARICOM leaders have expressed their shock and sadness over the assassination of former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. The former Japanese leader was shot dead by a gunman during a campaign speech this morning in Japan. CARICOM said Mr. Abe is well remembered in the community since he became the first Prime Minister of Japan to visit the region and meet with heads of government back in 2014. That visit strengthened the ties between CARICOM and Japan, the Secretariat noted. It was also noted by CARICOM that it was during that visit that the Japanese Prime Minister signaled Japan's support in recognizing the vulnerability of small island and low-lying coastal developing states, and expressed Japan's willingness to take into consideration issues other than GDP per capita as criteria for determining the provision of official development assistance. It was Prime Minister Abe who, during the summit in Port of Spain, reset CARICOM-Japan relations by outlining his country's three-pillar policy towards the community. CARICOM said it remains highly appreciative of Mr. Abe's significant contribution to enhancing relations between the region and Japan, and has extended condolences to the family of the former Prime Minister and the people of Japan. Business news right now. The Splashman's Fun Park and Resort is expanding the Madwini Villas and will be building 300 private residences as well as expanding its beachfront hotel. The expansion project at Madwini on the Suzdijk-Linden Highway is expected to cost $2.5 billion and is being seen as a prime indication of the magnitude of investor confidence that prevails in the current Guyanese economy. In a statement today, the company said Madwini waterfront villas will ensure a harmonious blend of the natural environment that respects the true ecological properties of the project area. The development will create over 300 jobs during the various phases. The features will include an outdoor performance space, 5 artificial lakes, recreational spaces, a public shopping center and mall, and new road networks and bridges. The expansion will cover over 150 acres of land. The new project will officially be launched on Monday.
Doors and windows, rooms and more. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
The International Building Expo is the only expo of its kind in the Caribbean, fostering homeownership and catapulting the construction sector with innovative and sustainable building practices, creating and advancing linkages among local, regional, and international stakeholders. It's the new frontier for building a One Guyana. The International Building Expo, commencing from July 22 at the Guyana National Stadium. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now. Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
The Guyana Defense Force announced today that the officer cadets currently undergoing training under Reserve Officer Corps 17 have been promoted to the rank of ensign. 40 professionals from various disciplines, including teaching, engineering, and medicine, enlisted in the course, which is designed to produce an officer capable of leading and administering a platoon in augmenting the regular force. The reserve officer will also be required to fulfill civil defense and other roles of the reserve, whilst at the same time upholding the values and standards of the force. The ensigns were decorated with their new badges of rank by Brigadier Godfrey Bess. In a short address to the ensigns, Brigadier Bess commended the professionals and their choice to enlist as well as their determination to stay the course. He told them that he trusts that they are eager about their future role in contributing to the continued development of the Guyana Defense Force. And still with the GDF, Staff Officer 1 Special Duties Lieutenant Colonel Ian Murray is among representatives of 18 countries who recently completed a 7-week managing defense in the Wilder Security Context course at the United Kingdom Defence Academy in the UK. The course, which is designed for senior leadership of militaries and civilians from around the world, covered a number of areas including security, defense and the law, governance, defense and security, leadership management of defense and security, and strategic communication. The course was geared at building the strategic capacity of its participants and allowed for interaction and sharing of experiences through exercises and presentations. Lieutenant Colonel Murray said that now that he has gained the knowledge, he intends plans to use it to offer advice and support to the strategic plans and initiatives of the Guyana Defense Force.
The International Monetary Fund has thrown its support behind Guyana's plans to bring down electricity costs through the landmark Gas-to-Energy project. This project is being supported by ExxonMobil and is expected to bring great relief to the people of Guyana through a massive reduction in electricity costs.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now! Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in neighboring Brazil, where Brazil's federal police carried out an operation against an alleged criminal gang that it said used crypto tokens to launder money made from illegal gold mining. The police in Brazil arrested 5 people and served 60 search and seizure warrants in the operation. The operation, called Greed, was related to healthcare companies that since at least 2012 had laundered money from illegal gold mining in the northern state of Rondônia. The federal police announced the criminal group used its own crypto token to move around billions of dollars among other money laundering methods. The token, created by one of the group's shell companies, was used to justify the amounts arising from the illegal extraction of gold, as if they were investments of third parties interested in receiving dividends. In Mexico, the head of Mexico's Financial Intelligence Unit has announced that it has been investigating millions of dollars worth of money transfers involving former President Enrique Peña Nieto, in which he may have received economic benefits. Pablo Gomez, the head of the financial agency, during a news conference with the current president Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, said his agency had requested the Attorney General's office to prove the transfers that were made by family members and businesses associated with the former president. Details of the money transfers were given to the Attorney General's office. Peña Nieto has not been charged with any crime, but they said that he did not know whether or not the money transfers were legal. And finally tonight, international news. Police investigating the assassination of Japan's ex-Prime Minister Shinzo Abe have said the suspect held a grudge against a specific organization. The alleged gunman, named as Tetsuya Yamugami, age 41, believed Abe was part of the group and shot him for that reason, they said, without naming the group. Abe died in hospital this morning after being shot while speaking at a political campaign event. The assassin has admitted shooting him with a homemade gun, the police said. Abe was Japan's longest-serving prime minister, and his death at the age of 67 has profoundly shocked a country where gun crime is very rare. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said he was simply speechless at the news of Abe's death, vowing that Japan's democracy would never yield to violence. Police are still investigating whether the killer acted alone and why Abe was targeted out of other people related to the unnamed organization. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable weekend.